Hi everybody, this is Dennis, and we're going to do a playthrough for the Nexus, issue number 3. This one is Capital Comics, and this one comes with the Flexi. See, comics in stereo, Flexi inside. Many of you are like, well, that's not a normal book and record. What is this? Well, this is what your Flexi looks like. This is what comes inside. This one's got a couple of scratches on it, but it looks like it'll still play, and then you'd flip it over. So it'll spin on the turntable, only it's a very thin record. But still, it's kind of neat. This works very much like the book and records that I typically go through, only it's just not as such. This one was 1982. Of course, Mike Barron, Steve Rude. We've had Mike on the show many a times. He is awesome. But what we do is we will be playing the record, and it'll go right along with the book per normal. So we're going to start off, and you guys get to listen and play along with it. So let's go through Nexus issue number 3.
Paradise. We're saved.
But who built it? Where are we?
Marlis went into labor almost at once. My father found an autodoc, sophisticated diagnostic equipment designed for humans. I was premature. The autodoc instructed my father to put me in the hourglass-shaped tank, where I thrived. By all accounts, I was perfectly healthy. I remember Marlis, my kind and beautiful mother. Those were happy times for us, so short and long ago. I had playmates, Elf and Beta. I told Mom and Dad about them, but they didn't believe me. When I was 5, Marlis wandered into one of the endless corridors. She never came back. We searched for her, week after week. Now we only had each other. Even Elf and Beta had disappeared. 3 months later, my father found Marlis in a faraway section on one of the lower levels. She'd gotten lost and starved to death. Shortly after that, Elf and Beta came back.
Where were you? We needed you. Gosh, Horatio, we didn't know. We're sorry, Horatio. Yeah, really. We would have helped. If only we'd known.
My father was a broken man. Hour after hour, he would sit and stare into space through the surface monitors. I was 9 when I had my first attack. My father barely got me hooked up to the autodoc in time.
Patient Horatio, subject to vital enzyme AQN to the 10th XY to 12.4, deficiency affecting central nervous system, sleep and corrective solution.
So I had to sleep in the tank again. I resented it at first. The tank was for babies. But when I realized how much better I felt, I was grateful. The years trickled by.
Hey, Elf, who built this place anyway? Gosh, Horatio, I don't know. But I do have something to show you.
He took me to my father's study. For some reason, I had always stayed away from this place, especially when my father wasn't there.
Gee, I don't know if we should be in here. Come on, Horatio. It's in the book. What book? This book over here. Come on, you should see this. Right here on page 216. Don't you want to know where you came from? Why you're here? Sure you do.
This is General Theodore Hellpop. I leave this record not as an admission of guilt, but so that subsequent civilizations won't accuse me of trying to obfuscate my role. In order to save Radek, I had to destroy it. My actions will seem abhorrent to many sentients, but I had no choice. I believe I acted correctly.
Could this broken down old man have done such a thing?
But I didn't know what it meant. How could I? 3.5 million dead, such figures were meaningless. Only Mother's death had meaning. I had seen it, felt it, watched it eat away at our lives. Reading became my passion. I devoured Melville, Proust, Heinlein, Twain, Tom Sawyer, Life on the Mississippi. A steamboat was as fantastic to me as any spacecraft. And music, everything from Gregorian chants to Plaz. I drifted away from Alf and Beta. I didn't trust them. For months, I read nothing but Gogol, Tolstoy, and Dostoevsky. One day, as I sat reading in the corridor,
Communism is glorious, my son. Glorious.
Dad, you okay?
it spooked me. That night, I had my first dream about Braddock. I saw a priest of the Alvanic order. His name was Brother Lathe. Our fates were intertwined.
This child is cursed. Cursed. Cursed.
It precipitated an agonizing attack. I dragged myself to the elevator, somehow found the tank. It saved me. In the morning, I felt unusually vigorous, almost electric, better than I had in months. I was working out in the gymnasium on the high bars when Alpha and Beta came in.
Hello, Horatio. How are you today? Have you thought about what Alf showed you? About what your father did?
I somersaulted the 20 feet to the floor.
Yes, I thought about it. And I don't believe you didn't know about my mother. You could have saved her. You're cruel and heartless. False friends. It makes me angry. So angry I could...
Hello, son. How are you?
Fine, Dad. Just fine.
Then, the dreams began in earnest.
We have 45 minutes to evacuate the planet.
And then, as certain as stars spin, came the attack. Worse than anything I had experienced. I don't know how I made it to the tank. I remember nothing of that interminable crawl. When I came to my senses, I was floating in the energizing solution. But this time, if I thought the tank would save me from the dreams, I was mistaken.
In order to save Radek, I had to destroy it.
Dreams are painful, are they not? Eventually they will drive you mad. That is so, quite mad. There is only one way to make them stop. You must eliminate the cause.
Hello, Horatio. How are you today?
Fine, Dad. I love you, Dad. Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I never saw Alpha and Beta again. I think perhaps they were the ghosts of those my father had murdered who had somehow stowed away on board his ship. 2 years passed before the attacks again drove me to the tank. This time, I accepted the dream as a bird accepts flight. I embraced the dream. A man called the manager on a planet called Feud. Dave was in it. You know Dave. And as I floated and suffered, yet I was filled with a strange ecstasy, for the uncertainty was over. A word came to me. No, more than a word. It was who I am. Nexus. When I climbed out, the costume was working. I put it on. I knew what I had to do. This is the first time I have told anyone.
Thank you. Oh, Horatio, it's beautiful. What's wrong? Don't you like your name? Well, I think it's beautiful. Horatio Hellpop. Of course you're upset. Who wouldn't be? You blame your father for your mother's death and yourself for your father's. And every night you return to that big surrogate womb.
Stop. Don't cheapen my grief with your bourgeois sloganeering. I've read Freud.
Okay, I had no right to say that. But surely there's more to Horatio Hellpop than just going out and zapping the bad guys.
Well, at my work. Let me show you.
Down. Down. Down.
My digs have been excavating for 5 years. These artifacts, a great civilization.
I am a secret. Let us share our secrets. Is there anything I can do?
It's just that it's my first time.
You cannot fail with me, Horatio. You can only get better.
We're turning into complacent cattle. Have we forgotten the injustices which brought us here? Are we lotus eaters that we must waste the rest of our lives in idle pastimes? No! I say we use these facilities to achieve justice.
What are you suggesting? Nexus has given us a home. How can we go against him?
What do the wishes of one man, no matter how powerful, stack up against the untold millions who suffer, waiting in vain for one of his dreams? He's a dreamer. Dave is the real power here. This planet is jammed with weapons. I've seen them. Therefore, with all respect to great Nexus, let us work to replace Dave's pacifistic rule. Let's free our brothers and sisters who remain in bondage.
Whoa!
It's okay. You were just having a nightmare. Oh.
I'll have to go in the tank soon. I can feel it.
Have you ever thought about using your power to create something? Instead of,
Say, Dave!
Tyrone, what it is?
A number of people have expressed an interest in leaving, finding worlds of their own. Do you think Nexus would make the dry dock available to us?
Do you want to leave, Tyrone?
Yes.
I'll speak to them. Meanwhile, we have a problem. There is a spy on island.
A spy? Why? Who for?
For Suttle-Berg. How did Suttle learn about Nexus dreams? I run a computer scan on all of our inhabitants, but our records are meager. Nexus abhors intelligence gathering. I believe the spy is still active, nor have we seen the last of Suttle-Berg.
In the forest, which lies far beneath Island's lifeless surface,
The tank.
2 hours later, a corridor outside Nexus ruins.
I just signed up for a course in solar sailing. They're building sail ships on level 2, and we're going to take one out next week.
Can I come?
Well, you'll have to take the course first.
Great. I've always wanted to... Hey! Jill, excuse me. Horatio, where are you going?
Up on the roof. You've given me an idea.
An idea? What kind of idea? What's on the roof?
Nothing.
Stop! Don't open that door! We'll die in the vacuum.
Relax. Take my hand. I'll keep you warm.
I can't breathe. I can talk. I feel warm.
I extended my energy envelope to enclose you. Look at it. Utter desolation. No sign of life for 100 parsecs in any direction.
But beautiful.
Yes. Greater beauty than any I can create. Nevertheless, I'm going to build something. For you. At least I'm going to try.
What have I started? Horatio! Oh!
Wait. There's more. Who?
Hello, Four-Flusher. Remember our deal? You stuffed me. Now I'm here to collect.
Why have you come back, Sutter?
We had a deal, remember? You walked out on me. Your word is worthless.
Don't talk to me of honor. You said you could cure my dreams.
A harmless subterfuge, great Nexus, to gain your trust and your fusion plasma generator. But my colleagues made a bunch of things, so I've come for it myself. and for my personal satisfaction in stripping you of its benefits.
How do you propose to seize my alleged fusion plasma generator?
I have the means now, Nexus, as you're about to discover. But only for a little while. I have to act fast.
How confident you are! But if you're as strong as you say, I resist. We could hurt Ira. The fusion plasma generator is a complicated and delicate mechanism. Would you risk damaging it?
What do you suggest?
Meet me in an hour. You choose the place. Put me down, and the FPG is yours.
Agreed. And you will honor this agreement, or I'll rend your little planet pole to pole.
Oh, and Sutter.
What?
It's good that you came. I've been dreaming about you. I know where you get your power, Sutter. I know.
That son of a bitch doesn't scare me. He doesn't have a chance. I'll fry him before he knows what hit him. One good blast.
Where's... Get some volunteers and launch 6 of the short-range recon ships. Have them standing by in sphere formation, undetected if possible.
We monitored the shop. I knew he'd come back. What does he want?
The moron thinks I have an FPG. It doesn't matter. I would have had to kill him anyway. I want this place prepared in case he launches a sneak attack while we're busy.
You got it.
Excuse me now. I must be alone.
20 minutes later.
Here, Nexus. These are the coordinates, keyed from your North Pole, section AC 99597, precisely 18 to 4.3 kilometers.
Not so fast! Agreed. And now it's time to go to work. Pray for me.
To what god?
Kiss me then. Your greed is insane. Your crime is monstrous. You've mutilated and enslaved 100,000 sentients to drive your ESP fusion transfer machine.
It wasn't I who made them, boss. I am merely taking advantage of a unique opportunity.
Stop now, Sutter. Don't make it any worse.
Great Nexus, spare me this sanctimonious claptrap. If you know the source of my power, you know I cannot be defeated. You may grovel if you wish.
How shall we do this?
Simplicity itself, great Nexus. Back off 1,000 miles and let fly. Count from 60 seconds, beginning now.
It will be short. The interim is mine. And a man's life's no more than to say one.
The contest begins. Within the coruscating nimbus surrounding the combatants, there is sound. And for the briefest instant, across the breadth of 1,000 miles, a new star blazes. It is a false star, offering neither warmth nor life. And what of Sutter's power? It is here, in this ship, in this monstrous floating prison, this hell, where 100,000 beings reside, enslaved, decapitated, victims of the most heinous slave trade in the galaxy. But Clausius, the slave trader, has discovered: cut off the head, sell the body to the organ banks, control the mind with drugs and electroshock, link them up like Christmas tree lights, and they will produce power. ESP, teleportation, the ability to cast fusion energy from the heart of a star. But what occurs when this grossly wicked power encounters superior force? It begins to burn out. On and on they struggle, consuming more and more energy, until the ultimate source of all energy begins to fail. And the stars themselves begin to die.
So close now. His power is waning. I must end it now. He stopped. Is he faking? I think not. Credence, Forzo, send transports, medic and supplies. Prepare the hospital for surgery and make space for 100,000 new arrivals. Heads only, on life support. And see that all non-essential personnel are cleared from the docking facility. This won't be pretty.
Earth Capital, the cohesive web.
The Centurions have confirmed our findings, Mr. President. 5 stars have simultaneously collapsed in far section HB 99-599. They didn't even go nova, they just blinked out.
We know of one anomaly which could account for such a disaster. The costumed vigilante known as Nexus.
Nexus, eh? So Ambassador Imada was correct. Please have her prepare a briefing this afternoon. and call an emergency meeting of the Council for tomorrow morning.
Right away, Mr. President.
Morning.
Noble sentience. There can be little doubt that Nexus is responsible for the obliteration of 5 stars. We cannot ignore so potentially devastating a force. Ambassador Imada?
We are prepared, Mr. President.
Very well. Then you must form your delegation and leave at once. We must reason with him if we can. And if we can't, well, there are alternatives.
And there you go. Now they don't on the Flexi. They don't have, but this is the Tales of Dave, and it's a nice little short story that's in the back. We won't go through that one, but that was cool. I'm going to flip through the back so you guys can see. Boy, these really were the good old days. Actually, I want to show you the back cover as well. Another great picture. You can see 1982 as it wraps all the way around. So guys, Nexus issue number 3, 1982. Back then, $2.95. Jeez, isn't that awesome? You got a big oversized book, and I'll just show you, by comparison, there's one of today's books, and love it. And guys, as we go through it, you can check out the other book and records that I have. I've got a separate playlist on there. I also do full reviews, quick flips of all the new comics each week. And, I also do some Star Trek stuff. And guys, every Wednesday we do a live stream. Andy and I do. And we talk about comic book different issues in there, but we always have creators on, writers, artists, anchors, and you guys should subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when we go live, and join us. You get to interact with them. It's a great time. And as of right now, we are also doing Kor-Drath the Awakening, the sequel to the awesome Kor-Drath the Reckoning. And guys, give it a shout. Check it out down below. I'll leave all the links in the description. So enjoy, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little flexi that came with Nexus 3.